This is season 4, episode 6. Or episode 6, if I'm not mistaken. For those of you who are new to the show, I am your host, Quinn Jackson. For those of you who are not new to the show, yes, I am streaming without my beanie on. My signature brown beanie is to the side because I got me a nice little fresh cut. Yep, I don't know if y'all can see that. See the lineup? None too crazy. Got the eyebrows done. Looking crisp. And I'm here to deliver a crisp episode to you guys, fans. With that being said, I'm your host, Quinn Jackson of the show. We stream episodes weekly. Every Tuesday and Thursday we drop. We've had a lot of shifts. We've had a lot of changes throughout the show. We've reached out to a lot of people, guest speakers to come onto the show. Haven't had much luck with that, but again, the show is always open and looking for guest speakers to come on and make things fun and interesting. So we are always Life's Playbook podcast eager for anyone who is interested in coming on the show, as well as reaching out to people who we think might bring some interesting talks to the show. But again, y'all are new. I'm your host, Quinn Jackson. I do have a co-host today, but he is not here right now. He has let me know beforehand that he will not be able to join today's episode. Excuse me. So it's just me today. So y'all got just me today. We're gonna be talking about. We're gonna keep it football based because we've been talking a lot about the NBA, a lot with the playoffs and whatnot. So today I just wanted this episode to kind of be, me talking about not only the Derek Carr retirement and what that means for the Saints moving forward. Kind of appreciate Derek Carr a little bit. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to give my opinion on the George Pickens trade because I know that went down and that was kind of a big thing, and I haven't given my opinion on that just yet. As well as, I wanted to make things a little spicy. I'm going to give you guys my top 5 running backs heading into the 2025 season because if some of y'all know me, and if some of y'all have seen my content and how I talk about Bijan, I got to clean that up. I'm going to clear that up for anyone who thinks I am a Bijan Robinson hater. So, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Before we get started with today's episode, make sure to download Prize Picks, the most elite sports fantasy app. With that being said, welcome to the Life's Playbook podcast. Let's dive into today's episode. Starting with the George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys trade. At this point, everybody knows it. I'm just kind of late to the punch to give my reaction to it and my thoughts on both parties. And we obviously know who won this trade, and it was the Dallas Cowboys. So let's talk about it. George Pickens has been sent to Dallas in exchange for, I believe, a 3rd and a 5th round pick. So the Cowboys essentially gave up next to nothing to get a pretty good wide receiver. I wouldn't say he's bad, and I don't think he was bad for the Steelers, like skill wise, and as a football player, I don't think he was that bad for the Steelers. Obviously, his production has not been up to par as a wide receiver one's production should be. I believe last season he was just 100 yards short of 1,000 yards. But I'm not going to knock George Pickens on that because I understand his quarterback situation. He's gone through Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson. He's gone through a lot of bad quarterbacks, and he's still arguably produced with those guys. So I'm not going to go against him on that. I do understand that he, as a person, he's got a lot of tendencies, a lot of issues as a person. He's known to crash out on the field and do stupid things, cost the team costly penalties and whatnot. So I understand that maybe the Steelers didn't want to deal with that. Also, they brought in DK Metcalf and they paid him a huge bag. And he's also, again, as a football player, both of these guys, DK and George Pickens, they are good. And I think they can thrive as wide receiver ones in the league. But as people, they pretty much, one is master and one is the apprentice. DK is the master and George Pickens is the apprentice. And having those two in the same wide receiver room, much less on the field together, I think the Steelers, they knew that they could not afford to have two crash outs playing for them. So I think that's another reason as to why they got rid of him. Again, I'm not knocking George Pickens on his production because I think, again, as a player, he can definitely produce. I think he will definitely produce alongside CeeDee Lamb, and hopefully Dallas can work out, some of the crash out tendencies that he has and that he is known for. I'm excited to watch him in Dallas. I do think this is a huge upgrade for that wide receiver room, and it definitely puts them in the conversation as a top, arguably top 5, top 10 wide receiver duo in the league. With that being said, that's my opinion on the George Pickens trade. Again, I think the Steelers, obviously, they lost this one. Uh, they gave up a very good player. He's very good. I'm standing by it. George Pickens is a very good player. He's a very good football player. If he can just fix the crash out tendencies, he will be all right in Dallas, and he could have been all right in Pittsburgh. But we got to move on. And I think Dallas is going to bring back the way they looked years prior with the addition of George Pickens. It will be interesting to see whether they can work out the crash out tendencies or not. That remains to be seen. With that being said, we got to move on to Derek Carr. Yes, Derek Carr, former Raiders quarterback. I don't want to call him a legend because although he did have a kind of successful 3-year stint with the Raiders, he did get shipped off to New Orleans. I'm not going to call him a Saints legend either because, if I'm being honest, his run with the Saints was not that great. His run with the Raiders was great. And we all remember that only epic playoff win that he got against Justin Herbert in 2021. That's about the biggest highlight we can really say about this man. But Derek Carr has retired from the NFL. The most obvious and real reason why he retired is he was probably never going to see the field again due to injuries. He was a very injury-prone guy. All offseason long, he was up in the air as to whether he was going to come back, play for the 2025 season, or whether he needed season-ending shoulder surgery. And then he came out and said he wasn't going to need it. He'll be back. And then I guess some medical experts said he's going to need it. So it's been up and down. Plus, he's coming back from a concussion as well. The dude was just never really healthy. Again, in his run with the Saints, his run with the Saints was not that good. Can't stress it enough. Career-wise, I mean, he does finish top 20 all time in career passing yards, 41,245. He had 257 touchdowns and 112 interceptions in his entire career. Not bad. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He finished third in MVP voting in 2016, I believe. So, I mean, statistically, if you look at the numbers, Derek Carr wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. I'm not going to hate the dude because he never played for my team. My team is the Browns. He never played for my team. I have watched Derek Carr play a lot when he was able to play. I'm not going to say his career was trash. Definitely not Hall of Fame worthy, though. But he had some bright spots in his career, but just never able to stay on the field and give him a whole season for the Saints. And really, after his Raiders stint, he just kind of declined. But hope that man gets healthy, and I hope he's able to continue to be successful off the field and enjoy his retirement. He will, in my opinion, he will go down as a Raiders legend. Okay, I don't want to say legend because there are tons of other legendary players that belong to the Raiders franchise, but he will definitely go down he will be known as a Raiders quarterback. He will be known as a Raiders quarterback. But Derek Carr, solid career. I'll say it was a solid career. Looking at the numbers wise, and he made 4 Pro Bowls. That's got to mean something. Finished third in MVP voting, I believe, in 2016. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but solid career if we look at the numbers. Very solid career. Again, Derek Carr, wish you the best of luck in retirement. It's a shame you had to retire this early because maybe you could have, the Saints on another good run. talking about the Saints moving forward, with that being said, they have three quarterbacks to choose from: Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, the rookie that they just drafted in this year's draft, and oh my goodness, I'm forgetting about the other name, but realistically, that's how forgettable the Saints quarterback room is. It's going to be interesting to see what the Saints do moving forward, because Derek Carr was clearly the most solid out of the three. He was the best option out of the three, and now that he's gone, do they throw Tyler Shuck to the Wolves early? And don't get me wrong, the NFC South is a very winnable division. It's a very easy division to play in. But he's only a rookie. We cannot ignore the fact that he's only a rookie, and he hasn't gotten a taste of the NFL yet. He is a little on the older side for a rookie. I believe he's 26 years old. I don't think that'll be a problem, as many people are making it out to be. Do they throw him to the Wolves early? I think if they throw him to the Wolves early, he's not going to be that good. I don't think he's going to be that good at all in his career. No offense to him. I'm not wishing that he sucks. I'm not wishing that Tyler Shuck, sucks and he never makes Pro Bowl or this or that. I could be wrong, and he could be a phenomenal player. But I just don't understand the hype of him, and I just don't understand whether, especially playing for a arguably bad organization since Drew Brees left. I don't think he's going to have much success. Again, the division is easy. It's winnable. The Saints will probably, either the Saints or the Falcons will probably be the only other team competing against the Bucks for the division. I think the Bucks are going to win the division for a third year in a row. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons win it as well, because I like the way that they drafted, and I like the way that they made moves on the defensive side of the ball. But we're getting off topic. We're talking about the Saints. Regarding Tyler Shuck, I honestly I hope he doesn't start. I think they need to keep Spencer Rattler in. I know his record hasn't been great either. But I think they need to sit Tyler Shuck. They need to let him get a feel for the atmosphere of the game in the NFL. They need to let him sit, watch for a little bit, because I think if they just throw him to the Wolves, he's just not going to be that good. Again, I don't think he's going to be good in his career at all. That's just me. Again, I'm not hating. So Saints fans, if you say I'm hating, I'm not hating. I just don't understand any of the hype that this dude was getting as a prospect, and I don't think he's going to. I think he'll be a career backup his entire career. Now, if he proves me wrong and he makes Pro Bowls and he makes moves, and if he becomes the next Drew Brees, I'll take it on the chin. But I just don't think he's going to be that good. Now, again, I'm not wishing that he sucks. I'm not wishing that he does trash. But I don't know. I think the best plan for him is to sit him and let Spencer Rattler play another season. I think if they do start him to the Wolves, well, I mean, they kind of. I don't want to say the Saints have no choice, but like, when you really look at that quarterback room, Tyler Shuck is the best option there. And I know he's a rookie and he hasn't gotten a taste of the league, but when you look at that quarterback room for the Saints, he is arguably the best option there. Not saying Spencer Rattler can't turn it around. We'll see. But it's not looking good for the Saints, is the point. It's not looking good for the Saints. The quarterback room is in shambles. They are definitely I know the Saints are definitely looking forward to the 2026 quarterback class for sure, because I don't know how they're going to survive. Maybe they'll make a trade sometime maybe mid-season for a quarterback. I don't know. But that quarterback room is atrocious. It's not good. It's definitely, arguably the worst quarterback class in that division, and probably a bottom 5 quarterback room in the league. So Saints fans, y'all gonna have to figure that out. Saints front office is gonna have to figure that out. Best of luck to the Saints though, because they're gonna need it. I think the Bucks are gonna reign supreme again. If not the Falcons, again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons come away with the NFC South division. But I think the Bucks are gonna lock it up again. But with that being said, it's time to move on to my top 5 running backs in the league. And I think this has to be the reason why I am talking specifically about the running backs is I've seen a lot of social media takes on top 5 running backs in the league. I've seen personal lists, I've seen objective lists, and I am here to give you my somewhat objective, somewhat subjective opinion on my top 5 running backs heading in to the 2025 season. No, rookies are not included. So Ashton Genty and Omarion Hampton and guys like that, they will not be included because they have not played a taste of the NFL. So they will not be included. With that being said, and I'm gonna try to be as unhateful as possible because I don't know if y'all know, but I am not a huge guy on Bijan Robinson. And I'm gonna talk about him in a minute as I go through my list. I'm gonna go through 5 all the way to 1. This is heading into the 2025 season. This is who I would feel most comfortable having on my franchise starting as my RB1. So, let's get into it. At number 5, my top 5 running backs heading into the 2025 season, I have Josh Jacobs. Now, I like Josh Jacobs. I think he's a very elusive running back. Veteran, he's got experience. Pro Bowl caliber dude every single year. Never disappoints Green Bay. He never disappoints me when he's on the field. I do think he's top 5, though, because I do think there are a lot of other upcoming running backs that could possibly be better than him. I think Ashton Genty and Hampton are definitely 2 good candidates that eventually, given some years, will definitely be better than Josh Jacobs. But for right now, because they have not played a single down in the NFL, I have Josh Jacobs at number 5. Again, I understand all the other names out there. Kyron Williams from the Rams, JT from the Colts, all great backs too. But those guys can't really give me a full season. And what I mean by that is they can't really stay as healthy. I don't really think they're as elusive and skillful as Josh Jacobs is. So I have Josh Jacobs at number 5. Again, things could change because there are a lot of good upcoming running backs. At number 4, I have Bijan Robinson at number 4. And I was very tempted to leave this guy out of my top 5 because so the thing about me and running backs is I am big on upside, I am big on potential and whatnot. I think running backs have a lot of potential in the league, especially with the way they're being played in today's day and age. Running backs are arguably have one of the biggest upsides in the league as a position as a whole. And I have Bijan at 4. Now, I know this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, especially with Falcons fans. In fact, just recently I got into a whole comment debate about, Bijan and what he's done in the league. But I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm sorry. What has Bijan Robinson done since coming into the league? I never understood the hype around this guy, and I still don't understand the hype right now for this guy. I just never understood Bijan Robinson. I understand he ran for like 1,300 yards, and he almost had 1,900 all-purpose yards from the line of scrimmage. I understand all that stuff. But what has he done that's been so spectacular? Like, when he was coming into the league, we were talking, and when I mean we, I mean you guys, the media, we're talking about this man like he was the next coming of Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Peterson. You guys were talking like he was going to be the next that caliber of running back. And I'm like, this dude he's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. Bijan is going to be good. He's probably always going to be a top 5 running back, but he's not going to be number 1. And I'll get to my number 1 in a second. But he's not going to be a number 1 running back, in my opinion. Would I start a franchise with him and would I have him as a starting running back? Yes, I would. I would definitely have him as a starting running back. But I just don't understand the hype. I was very tempted to leave him off my top 5 solely on the fact that I just think he gets overvalued and he gets overhyped to the point where, somebody has to be the guy to pull y'all back into reality and ask you guys the question: what has Bijan Robinson done since joining the league that has made him worthy of all the overhype and all of the overvalue of this guy? He's good, I get it. He can catch the ball out of the backfield really well. He's got great agility. He can break tackles. He's quick. He's lean. He's somewhat stocky, so he can take a hit. But the next three running backs that I'm about to name can do anything and everything that Bijan can do, if not better. And I will stand on this hill when I get to my number one running back. He can do everything that Bijan can do and better. We will get to that in a minute. So I'm sorry. That's gonna be my hot take. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Honestly, what has Bijan done that's made him deserve all this overvalue and overhype? Because I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm not trashing on the dude. I'm not. But I'm questioning, why is he getting all this hype when he hasn't really done anything spectacular? So at number 4, I got Bijan. At number 5, I have Josh Jacobs. At number 3, I have Christian McCaffrey. At number 3. Yes, Christian McCaffrey over Bijan Robinson. Again, I told you guys I am big on upside. I am big on potential. MC was arguably the best running back in the 2023 season. Arguably one of his best seasons of his career. Obviously, we know that's when the Niners made the Super Bowl, and they blew it, and CMC was kind of a big reason why they made it. CMC, and I get it, he's got a big injury history. He wasn't able to give the Niners a full season in 2024. I think he's due for a bounce-back season. I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to be able to give the Niners a full season. And that is why he's at number 3, because when he is healthy, he can do everything Bijan can do, slightly better. There are some things I think Bijan can do that are better than him. I do think he's more durable than him. Bijan's he's more durable than CMC, and all that fun stuff. He's able to give you a full season. But I would still take a healthy CMC over Bijan Robinson. Yes, I'm saying it right now. I am taking a healthy CMC over Bijan. I don't think that's crazy to say. And obviously, and if anyone were to tell me otherwise, I don't know if I would hear him out. I don't know. But CMC, when he's healthy, he can do wonderful things. I think we all forgot his production over these past couple of years because of his big injury history. And I get it. If I want a running back to start my franchise, I want him to be healthy, and I want him to be durable, and I want him to give me a full season. But he's due for a bounce-back season. I am big on upside. I love CMC. He can do anything that Bijan can do. He can even throw the football, too. You can scheme up plays like that for him, too. I don't know if you can do that with Bijan, but he can do everything that Bijan can do. Again, some things better than him. I do think Bijan has some things over him too, but I am putting my money on a healthy CMC over Bijan Robinson. So I got Josh Jacobs at 5, Bijan at 4, and CMC at 3. For my number 2 running back, and obviously for the sake of the episode, he's not number 1 because this guy, he had a historic season. But for number 2, he is, and if this was my personal list, he would be number 1. But for the sake of the episode, and again, this is a slightly objective list, he realistically can't be number 1 because the running back at number 1 had a historic season. But at number 2, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs. He is the number 1 dude I will stand on a hill is better than Bijan Robinson. I will stand and die on that hill that Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Bijan in every level. Running out of the backfield, blocking, passing the ball, catching the football. Way more agility, way more durable. He's going to give me a full season of better production than Bijan Robinson. He's going to give me a better season. I'll say it again. He's going to give me a better season of production than Bijan Robinson. I guarantee you, if you place Jahmyr Gibbs in the Falcons offense, he's going to produce similar, if not better numbers than Bijan. I will stand on that hill that Gibbs is a much better running back than Bijan. And yes, this is coming out of some bias because I do love watching Jahmyr Gibbs. And hey, if the Browns were, and I think we got ourselves, I'm not saying he is, but I think we got ourselves Jahmyr Gibbs and Quinshon Judkins. But I'm not saying Quinshon Judkins is Jahmyr Gibbs because obviously he hasn't played a down of football. I'm just saying, comparison-wise, Judkins is the closest that my team has to Gibbs. But anyway, I think Gibbs can do anything and everything better than Bijan. Gibbs is the dude that you guys should be giving the overhype and the overvalue to because I would understand it. He's on one of the best teams in the league in the Detroit Lions. He's produced similar, if not better, numbers than Bijan. I get it. He's had a better offensive line and a better coaching staff than Bijan has had. But still, sue me. If Bijan is supposed to be this top 3 running back in the league, he should be able to produce no matter the situation. Give me Gibbs. Give me Gibbs over Bijan any day of the week, and I will stand on that hill that Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Bijan. So, number 2, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 3, I have CMC. 4, I have Bijan. 5, Josh Jacobs. And number 1 is obviously Saquonicus Barclays. Yes, and I know Derrick Henry's not on the list. But again, I did say this was a slightly subjective, slightly objective list. So I am leaving Derrick Henry off the list. Again, he's an honorable mention. Him and Saquon, screw it. Screw it. Derrick and Saquon are 1A, 1B. Him and Saquon are 1A, 1B. I'll throw in Derrick on there as well for the sake of the episode. But Derrick and Saquon, they are the ideal backs that I would start a franchise with. They can just do, well, they are slightly older guys, especially Derrick. He's in his 30s. Derrick kind of can't, do a lot of the backfield stuff that, Saquon and the other 4 backs can do. He's kind of the more traditional running back. He's big. He's kind of the hit, stick, and truck type of running back, stiff arm type of running back. He hits hard. He's a hard hitter is what I'm trying to say. So he kind of doesn't really have the agility that the other 4 guys have, but he can give me a full season. He's a veteran. Again, he's tough, so he's going to be able to take a hit and give a hit. And he also almost had a historic running back season as well. It's a shame it got cut short in the playoffs, and we're not going to get into that. But he also had a damn near historic running back season. Pardon my language. Saquon, he's number 1 for obvious reasons. He's a vet. He can do everything that that Josh Jacobs, healthy CMC, Bijan, and Gibbs can do. He's exciting to watch. He's got all the agility in the world. He's got an injury history. I understand that, but I think now that he's on the Eagles, he's got a good O-line to run behind, to protect him. Injuries shouldn't really be a factor moving forward as long as he continues to hone himself and his body, and the offensive line continues to stay great. Again, historic season all around. Can't deny his greatness. Won a Super Bowl. I believe, he did win Offensive Player of the Year. Can't deny his greatness. Him and Derrick, 1A, 1B, honestly. But that is my top 5 running backs heading into the 2025 season. Again, I chose running backs specifically because, yes, I have a very, very hot take on Bijan and Gibbs. And I am standing on the hill that Gibbs is better than Bijan and will always be better than Bijan. But there you have it. Josh Jacobs at 5, Bijan at 4, a healthy CMC at 3, Gibbs at 2 because of the sake of the episode, and 1A, 1B is Derrick and Saquon. Those are 5 guys that I wouldn't mind starting a franchise with and that I think have a lot of upside and potential, especially CMC because he is due for a bounce-back season from his Achilles injury. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out in the new 49ers look. With that being said, again, Falcons fans and ball knowers in general, you guys can come at me if you want about Bijan. I just don't understand the hype with this dude. I never understood the hype with this dude as a prospect. And please let me know what this dude has done in the league that has made him so special that he deserves all the hype and all the value. Please let me know in the comments below. With that being said, also let me know in the comments below who you think are your top 5 running backs heading into the 2025 season. With that being said, keep an eye on the NBA playoffs because they are getting exciting, and my Cleveland Cavaliers just won a game. So we could still be in the series. Game 4 is tonight, and it is a very crucial game for us. With that being said, I'll catch you guys Thursday for episode 7 of season 4. Peace out.